Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Good evening, dear friends. I am Correa, and we are here tonight as we do every Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to study the divine laws. We know through our many existences that it is important to follow through with human laws, that when we do so, when we are obedient to human laws, we tend to promote harmony and peace, both on an individual and on a collective level. We have progressed immensely with regards to human laws. However, human laws are changeable, so to speak. They progress as we, as a civilization, progress as well. Divine laws, on the other hand, are immutable because they reflect the perfection of God's love for the entire universe. Although we are far from understanding the greatness of all divine laws, the promised consoler, Spiritism, dear friends, has shed light as to how God manifests its love for the entire human race in terms of how it governs the universe. And tonight we are going to delve into a question that perhaps we have asked ourselves not only on this life, but on many lives previously: the definition of justice. How does God's justice operate? If we have ever wondered what the answer to this question would be, tonight we will have the grace to receive an answer that will soothe our souls, enlighten our spirits, and perhaps transform the way in which we see life. What a blessing, dear friends! We are so fortunate to have the light of reasoned faith right in our hands, and in this lifetime have the opportunity to bring this light closer and closer to our hearts. So we welcome, beloved friends, we welcome all of you. We hope that you feel embraced by the Kardec Radio team on both realms, and we thank you so kindly for sustaining this current of light at this very moment that nourishes not only our souls, but that reaches out, expands to everyone in our networks and also everyone in need of support at this very moment. Master Jesus has promised us that he would be there anytime we gathered in his name, so we may rest assured that we are receiving an embrace directly from the Master right at this moment. So welcome, dear friends and dear souls, and let us now begin our study. Tonight, the focus of our study lies on the law of justice, love, and charity. And the question we shall examine and discuss together, beloved friends, is question 875 on the third part of the Spirit's book by Allan Kardec. And the question is brilliant. Kardec very directly asks, how may we define justice? When Kardec poses this question, dear friends, he is not inquiring the higher spirits, the superior minds who work under the Christ about our passing, temporary, ever-changing definition of justice. He is instead asking about justice from a divine universal perspective. And the answer from the spirits is very transformative. They are succinct in their answer, but their answer is very illuminating. They say the following quote, "Justice consists in respecting the rights of each individual." End quote. And Kardec elaborates by further asking, what determines these rights? And the illuminated spirits answer as follows. They are determined by two things, human law and natural law, because humankind has established laws that are appropriate for their customs and characters. These laws have established rights that may change with intellectual advancement. Check if your current laws, though not perfect, sanction the same rights that prevailed during the Middle Ages. Those outdated rights that may seem monstrous to you seemed just as natural at the time. For that reason, the rights established by humankind are not always in accord with justice. They only regulate certain social relations, whereas in private life there are a vast number of actions that fall under the exclusive jurisdiction of our own conscience. So, the illuminated minds, dear friends, are already explaining to us that human laws, though commendable, have not yet fully progressed to the point where they are fully aligned with divine laws, because if they were, there would be harmony in all societies across the earth. We don't always, just yet, dear friends, respect the rights of other individuals, which is the divine definition of justice. Let us illustrate what we mean with a few examples so that we may feel the scriptures and bring the lesson that the spirits are bringing to us closer to our hearts. So let us think of a few scenarios together. Let us think of the very crucial, important relationship between a parent and their child. How many times in a conversation do we hear a parent say to a child, "We don't want you to touch the television right now. We don't want you to see the show." And the child says, "Okay, why?" Because children sometimes go through the why phase, right, friends? And the parent may say, "Well, because we told you so." This approach is the authoritarian approach, whereby we come to believe that because our chronological age is at another level than the child, because the child has a more fragile body and fragile state of mind, because we have authority over the child, we don't need to explain ourselves, and we don't see the child as a spirit that is as eternal as we are. What are you saying, Carol? Are you saying then that we should not guide our children, help them make wiser choices as they grow? No, dear friends, of course, it is our responsibility to guide our children. But are we doing so in such a manner so that we restrict their rights as individuals, so that we see ourselves superior to them in a prideful manner? So then we may be wondering, Carol, how else may we approach the same situation? We can say to the child, could you please, darling, turn the television down or stop watching television right at the moment, because if you don't, your body, your physical body will be tired. You may have difficulty sleeping because of the stimulation of the television that it brings to you. And if you have difficulty sleeping, then tomorrow you shall be tired and you will not be able to play and do all the things that you would like to do. So we as your parents are thinking of your well-being. We would like you to play. We would like you to be awake during school time. So this is why we are asking you. So in both scenarios, dear friends, we are guiding that child whom God entrusted to us. But in scenario number one, we may be imposing upon the child out of a false sense of pride and superiority, thinking that we, because we are adults and are the authority, can control that child without looking at them as a spirit, as a child of God. We may feel as though we owe that child. So this is scenario number one, in which we may not yet be able to respect the rights of others. What else? What other scenarios may we think of? Let us think of a relationship between partners. How many relationships, dear friends, do we know of, or have we experienced or heard about, in which one of the partners decide to get involved emotionally because they believe they can save or change the partner? They say to themselves, oh, we shall invest in this relationship because we know that within 1 year, within 9 months, within 2 years, that person will have changed their behavior because we love them so much. Our love will give them the strength to overcome their tendency to lie, their tendency to be in inertia, their tendency to engage in addictions. We say to ourselves, all that person needs is love. The reason they are facing difficulties is because no one has invested upon them, and we take upon ourselves to be the heroes, to be the saviors. And we think that we are superhumans, have superpowers, and that we can magically transform someone else. And then what happens? Because not even God imposes upon its children, allowing for us to have free will. Those relationships that are based on the rescuer, savior, victim triangle, the drama triangle from Karpman in psychology, are bound to become frustrated relationships, because we learn through this drama triangle that the cycle keeps repeating itself. And then we feel like victims. We feel like if that person only loved us, they would change for us. How many times may we have thought of this statement, felt this statement, or even articulated this statement to someone else? If they only loved us, they would. Or have we thought or articulated the following statement? After everything that we have done to this person has not yet done X for us. And when we approach life in this way, we, dear friends, may be attempting to act like God in someone else's life, to impose a desire to control someone else, to shape someone else's choices, not thinking, not realizing that we ourselves wouldn't like it if someone else tried to shape or control our choices either. So, therapeutic question for all of us, ourselves included. How much have we tried to be in control, to manipulate circumstances, to save or rescue individuals whom we love? Scale from 0 to 10. 0 being no, we don't attempt to save or control anyone. 10 being we have been there, done that quite often. So tonight, regardless of what number we give ourselves in this scale, we have the opportunity to recalibrate ourselves by understanding that not even God attempts to impose certain choices on anyone. So, who are we to do so, dear friends? Let us look at one more scenario before we close our reflections of tonight. Our third scenario is a work-related scenario, a scenario in which we devote ourselves and devote ourselves and devote ourselves at work on a project, thinking that if we do everything right in the work checklist, we will get a promotion. Then, if we don't get a promotion, we get frustrated and we may become passive aggressive towards our coworkers and towards our boss, towards our superior. Why? Because we had a hidden agenda, dear friends, whereby we did the good, but it was a half good because we didn't expect to respect the right of our boss to make decisions. We gave our boss attention, hoping that he or she would provide us with what we needed and wanted. So, in a way, when we attempt to manipulate situations emotionally, we are acting like children when we give something with one hand and we expect to take something else, a reward, with the other. So, tonight, once again, we can recalibrate ourselves by understanding that there is only one God in the universe. That when we try to act like God, we are bound to feel frustrated. That it is not our job to save or control anyone because God gives us all free will and the opportunity to respond to the consequences of our own actions. So you may be asking, beloved friends, how then, Carol, to deal with a relationship in which someone is in an addiction, in which we don't move forward? How to deal with a job where we don't see that we are making progress? How to educate our children? The answer from the illuminated spirits is respecting the rights of others. And how do we do so, dear friends? We do so by allowing individuals to have the freedom to act as they would like. And we can bring to their attention lovingly the fact that there will be consequences to their actions. We can share what we know with them lovingly, not in an impositional manner. And we can remind ourselves that we didn't come to earth, incarnate, to be on a vacation, to get that promotion, to have children that were angels descended upon the highest spheres, to have perfect marriages that could be in a cover of a magazine, to have 3 beach houses. No, beloved friends, these are not the reasons why we reincarnated. We reincarnated to align ourselves with the divine laws and to develop virtues that are eternal in nature. So, if the child needs more attention in developing their awareness of the good in their lives, we shall develop patience as we explain to the child what their choices are. If our partners challenge us with addictions and points of views that are very different from ours, perhaps God is calling us to develop more tolerance. If we have a boss that doesn't offer us the attention that we believe we deserve, perhaps it is God calling us to be even more of greater service. So rather than feeling victimized and sometimes even enraged with the circumstances of which we are part, let us take this opportunity tonight, beloved friends, to ask ourselves, where is God in this situation? And what does God wish us to learn? If we seek for the good in the present and unveil the divine lessons within the situations, we shall find consolation because we shall rise above the difficulty to see the divine shining through. So let us all go on an inner search for the signs of God's love all throughout our lives. Do we have eyes to see and ears to hear? Let us, of course, hope so and invest in the divine in ourselves and in everyone around us. After all, God wishes us to experience nothing but the good. It is our choice to decide to seek for the good, to feel the good, to visualize the good, and to mold the good with all the resources that we have at hand. We know that God made us co-creators for a reason, because God believes that we can and shall multiply the good in His name. So let us finalize with one more exercise, dear friends, the last one of tonight. Let us think in the next 24 hours of a particular way in which, one, we can relinquish the desire to control by multiplying the good in a particular circumstance in our lives. So we shall repeat. Our divine work for the next 24 hours will be relinquishing control by seeking to multiply the good in our lives, in a particular situation in our lives. So may we feel truly blessed to have this knowledge that soothes our souls and empowers us to make strides towards immortal progress. We hope that you feel, dear friends, embraced and inspired by the mentors who love us so dearly. May you receive all the blessings from God's and Christ's loving hearts. And we already look forward to meeting with you again and next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more of an understanding of divine justice. For now, dear friends, we invite you to stay tuned right here on Kardec Radio because here, beloved friends, we are always nourishing our souls. Many blessings, dear friends, and bye for now. We'll see you next time.